Imagine your mind is a wild, startled deer. It is trembling at the edge of the shadows. You want this deer to come to you. What do? Do you scream at it? Do you run toward it, waving your arms? Of course not. It would sprint away in terror. Yet this is exactly what we do to ourselves every single day. We scream at our brains with massive, impossible goals. We demand total transformation overnight. And when our motivation flees in terror, we call it laziness. We call ourselves broken. But you are not broken. You have just been using the wrong psychology. We are completely addicted to the montage. We love the idea of the sudden massive shift, the New Year's resolution that changes everything, the 60-day challenge that completely rewires our lives. Society tells us to dream big, set massive goals, shoot for the moon. But neurologically, this is an absolute disaster. When you set a massive goal, your brain perceives a massive threat. The amygdala, the fear center of your brain, lights up like a siren. It sees the huge gap between where you are and where you want to be, and it panics. It triggers a brutal fight-or-flight response. But since you cannot punch a goal in the face, you choose flight. You procrastinate. You doom scroll. This is not laziness. This is your brain trying to protect you from the overwhelming pressure of your own expectations. So how do we fix this broken system? We look to a philosophy born from the ashes of devastation. Japan after the Second World War was entirely rebuilt, but they did not do it with massive sweeping changes. They used the concept introduced by management consultants but perfected by Japanese psychology. It is called Kaizen. Kai means change. Zen means good. Together, they form a philosophy of continuous microscopic improvement. Kaizen is not about doing 100 push-ups today. It is about doing one push-up. It is about making the task so absurdly small that you cannot possibly fail. It sounds ridiculous to our Western obsession with hustle culture. But Kaizen possesses a hidden psychological superpower. Kaizen is a stealth operation against your amygdala. Remember that frightened deer in the forest? Kaizen is holding out a single tiny piece of apple. You are not asking the deer to move into your house. You are just asking it to take one tiny step forward. When you tell yourself you are only going to read one page of a book, your brain doesn't panic. One page is safe. One page is easy. The amygdala stays asleep. The fear response is never triggered. You bypass the alarm system entirely. You slip past the guards at the gate of your own resistance. This is why motivation feels effortless under Kaizen. You are no longer fighting your own nervous system. You are working in absolute harmony with it. You eliminate the friction of starting. But the magic of Kaizen goes much deeper than just tricking your fear response. It actively rewires your dopamine pathways. Dopamine is not just the pleasure chemical. It is the literal molecule of motivation. Traditional goals withhold dopamine until the very end. You suffer for months just to get one hit of satisfaction. Kaizen flips this equation entirely. By setting a microscopic goal and achieving it, you get an immediate dopamine hit. You flossed one tooth, boom, dopamine. You wrote one sentence, boom, dopamine. This creates a powerful positive feedback loop in your basal ganglia. Your brain realizes that action equals immediate reward. Suddenly, you don't want to stop at just one page. The momentum takes over completely. A body in motion stays in motion. You start doing more, not out of painful discipline, but out of pure neurological momentum. But there is a dangerous trap here, a reason why people try Kaizen and suddenly abandon it. It is the illusion of insignificance. When you only work out for 2 minutes a day, your ego throws a massive tantrum. Your ego wants the sweat and the glory. It tells you that 1 minute of meditation is a complete joke. It tells you that you are wasting your time. You will feel an intense burning urge to increase the goal too quickly, to jump from 5 minutes to an hour of work. The exact moment you do this, the amygdala wakes up. The fear returns. The paralysis comes crashing back down. You must swallow your pride. You must protect the tiny habit at absolutely all costs. Consistency is infinitely more important than intensity. Never sacrifice the streak for the sake of a bigger leap. We live our lives constantly feeling like we are behind. We beat ourselves up for not being disciplined enough, for not having the robotic willpower of a billionaire guru. But willpower is a finite, exhausting resource. You do not need more willpower. You need more compassion for the frightened deer in your mind. Kaizen is profound because it is infinitely gentle. It is a daily practice of forgiving yourself for not being perfect. It asks only for the smallest fraction of your effort. But over months and years, those microscopic fractions compound into massive mountains. Stop trying to conquer your entire life in a single day. Put down the heavy, crushing burden of your massive expectations. Take one tiny, absurdly small step, and then tomorrow, take just one more. Because 1,000 tiny steps will always take you further than a massive leap you never take.